Y'all ready to get started, man?
I'm ready whenever you are, my brother.
Alright. This is the main man, Kel Breezy, representing the Wrestling Tonight on 1 in the fine city of Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to give this man a chance to cut his own promo to kind of introduce himself so anyone watching, anyone who will see this when it goes on YouTube, know who he is, man. So go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Well, I am the culmination and the product of all of the data that has been gathered on every wrestler in the past and in the present, and all that data was put together to form the most ultimate evolution and perfect wrestler that has ever come through this pro wrestling world. And that perfect evolution is me. I am Android 901. I am Perfect Sam.
Perfect Sam. That's what's up, man. Cool, man. That was good, man. Enjoyed it. So, man, what got you into wrestling, man? What made you want to be a wrestler?
I was a little kid, probably in maybe 4th, 5th grade, and sorry about that. Got the little one with me. I was probably about in 4th or 5th grade, and I remember going to a local indie show.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this man by the name of Frank Paris, who you probably remember from WCW's Air Paris, AJ Styles' former tag team partner.
Okay.
He was in the main event of the show, and it was something different than what I'd been used to seeing on TV with the big roided guys. I'm seeing a guy who's a little bit smaller in the main event, actually hanging toe-to-toe with the big guys, and it was then that I wanted to be a wrestler. It wasn't from watching WWF and WCW, as a kid, and as it went on, it was watching an indie show and watching a guy who was just doing what he absolutely loved to do, even though he wasn't on the big screen. And that made me want to be a wrestler. I wanted to be just like Frank.
Cool. So, that inspired you. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up, man? Since you even watched since you kids.
Well, I mean, if you go through WWF and WCW, of course, I liked the Big Show, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Sting, Ric Flair. It was your stereotypical favorites, but I also enjoyed, once I started getting introduced to the indie scene, watching the wrestlers that, eventually came there. People like Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, and, even some of the old school guys way, way, way back in the day.
Yeah.
It's just a culmination of it all, really.
So, who's your favorite Memphis wrestler?
My favorite Memphis wrestler?
Other than yourself.
Well, I mean, I guess you could call me a Memphis wrestler, even though I'm not from Memphis. I live just south of Athens, Georgia, and but in current Memphis right now, I'd probably have to say it's a tie between Justin Cole and Ken Dang, really, right now.
Ken Dang.
As the local guys in Memphis that are currently doing it, they're some of my favorites. I've had the opportunity to wrestle Ken, and we about killed each other in the ring. It was phenomenal, and I haven't had a chance to go up against Justin Cole yet, but I hope change that soon. But if you were to go for the stars that help make Memphis wrestling what it is today, you've got people like Jerry Lawler, of course. That name right there is synonymous with Memphis, regardless of whether you like him or don't. He helped make Memphis what it is, and there are a lot of us trying to bring it back to what it used to be.
Yeah, and that's pretty dope, man. It's cool that you guys trying to bring that legacy of Memphis wrestling back to what it was, and I believe with the few matches I've seen, a few guys I've seen, I really believe, man, that it can happen, man. I believe you guys can do it. We just gotta get through this whole coronavirus stuff and this quarantine stuff and get you guys back in the ring and doing what you guys love to do, man. Now,
oh yeah,
I heard you mention you said the Big Show. People don't really mention the Big Show's name. You said one of your favorites. So, man, question: your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore, man?
Okay, my Mount Rushmore would definitely consist of Ric Flair, The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Bret Hart.
Yo, man, breaking little tweaks in a row.
Oh, yeah. And then honestly, for the fourth, um, not so much a wrestler as he is a voice and
Yeah.
works behind the scenes, but I'd put Paul Heyman in it
Oh man, Paul Heyman is a great mind for the.
because it's they're as much a part of the show as the people who actually wrestle and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he helps bring that story and helps bring all that emotion together, and without that, you don't really have a great wrestling show. You just have guys in the ring
Man,
wrestling without
yeah.
anything to look for.
Yeah, man, I agree. Paul Heyman's a great mind for the business, man. Go back to his days in WCW with the Dangerous Alliance, man, then with ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Even today,
Oh,
man,
definitely.
he has a great eye for talent, man. I,
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty solid in different direction, but solid Mount Rushmore, man. I definitely give you credit for that, man. So have you ever came across any professional wrestler? Have you walked across any one of those guys? Have you like just met one of them?
I've met quite a few. I've had the opportunity to work a show with Sabu.
Ooh.
Yeah, and when at ECW, Sabu was one of my favorites. Just how crazy he is in the ring,
Yeah.
and a lot of the craziness that I do in the ring, I kind of model that after Sabu. Just
Yeah.
he didn't give a crap, and neither do I. I've bumped in and got to chat and get a little bit of knowledge from Xavier Woods.
No.
I've gotten to meet, of course, my hero, the guy that made me want to wrestle, Frank Paris, numerous times, and, he lives out in Somerville, which isn't too far away. So I've got to bump into Lex Luger. There's just a lot of the talent does, come through Georgia. And so you'll bump into them and not even realize it.
True. So, somebody asked me, actually, man, like, do you know like Alan Steele, Chris Lex, and Bam Bam Bundy, and Derek King?
I've met several of those guys. I've worked a few shows with Tattoo, with Chris Styles, Reno Diamond. I've worked shows with them. I haven't got to work them personally, but I've worked shows with them and I've met them, and I like most of the guys. Some of them more than others, but it's all about just the fact that I haven't actually been around them all that much to really get to know who some of them are.
All right.
It's kind of hard to make an honest opinion on who I like more than others, if I could say that.
So,
like Reno, I've done several shows with Reno, and actually at one of our previous show at 901, I was wrestling Josh Matthews, and Reno actually came out to make the save after I beat Josh and was getting a beat down. So
yeah.
thank you, Reno.
How long you been wrestling, man?
For about 5 going on 6 years now.
Yeah, 6 years. Okay, man. How old are you?
I got my start a year after I got out of the military. And
military, man. Okay.
Yes, sir. And I just fell in love with it. As soon as I got my my foot in the door, I just ran with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. 6 years, man. So how old are you, man?
I'm 28.
28. Oh man, you got a lot more years left in the tank, man.
Oh yeah. I got lots more as long as if my body can keep up with me. But
right. So man, where do you see yourself like next 3 to 5 years, man? What's the plan?
Next 3 to 5 years, honestly, my plan is to be more traveled, get out of the southeast a little bit more. Start trying to make my way either out west, up north some. Kind of get my brand out there more for others to see, and maybe get that chance to perform on like the big shows in the indie scene, or maybe even have my name in the ears of people that are in the major leagues, so to speak.
Yeah, true, man. So if there's anybody in the major leagues, pro main promotions, if you have a dream match with someone, or two or three, who would you want to have a dream match with, man?
Oh, definitely Kenny Omega.
Oh man,
Yeah,
ooh, I love
just
Kenny, man.
because of that striking ability that he has,
Yeah,
and I like a good stiff match. I want to feel everything I'm getting hit with, and
yeah.
let them feel everything I'm hitting them with.
Oh
Um,
man,
Definitely, Kenny Omega's on that list. Chris Jericho, without a doubt, just because I know that's going to be one of the most fun matches ever.
man,
That dude it's hard for him to have a bad match if you
man.
really think about
I love Kenny Omega, man. He,
it.
like you said, his strikes, man. Those knees, the V trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love his match with him and Chris Jericho, man. That was
Oh,
totally a great match.
it was very, very hard hitting. And in all honesty, just to kind of throw a bit of a curveball, I definitely have to pick somebody that would be an impact, and that would be Willie Mack.
Willie Mack, oh man, yeah, over there on Impact Wrestling, yeah, man, Willie Mack,
Yeah, just because for a big man, the way he moves,
yeah,
is awesome, and I like wrestling bigger guys because I seem to have a better match when I wrestle somebody a lot bigger than me.
right, right,
Just kind of because I've always had to fight people that are bigger than me because I've always been one of the smallest people in the room, so it's
true,
something that I've always been used to.
true, true, cool. Man, yeah, he can move this man. I agree, man. I like seeing big guys. They're not just relying on their power, like back in the days when had the big muscle guys who just did body slams or just plain. So I like
Yeah.
guys who's agile in the ring, like Brody Lee, man, Keith Lee, guys
Mm-hmm.
they can do it all, man. I like big guys like that.
Doing things that they shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Oh, so got a question. What's your favorite WWE pay per view? If you got
My
one.
favorite WWE pay per view. I mean, well, if you think about it, I mean, that's really for a while. That's all we've had to pick from, other than some of the older WCW stuff. But
Yeah.
favorite WWE is going to be No Way Out 2004 because that was the first pay per view that I actually got to watch,
Really?
and so watching the whole build to that with Eddie Guerrero
Oh man,
and
yeah.
Brock Lesnar, watching Eddie win the gold right there, No Way Out was just amazing to me as a kid.
That was great, man. There was a great moment seeing Eddie win the championship after so many years of just being looked over and how he got treated in WCW and beating Brock Lesnar of all people.
I know, right? Because that's a feat not many people get to have.
Right, not especially for a championship. How many people can say
Mm-hmm.
they've beaten Brock Lesnar for the championship? And
Exactly.
and get to go into main event, have a main event match at WrestleMania. Man, that's definitely one of the best moments. I definitely, yeah, man. I love that match. I love that pay per view. Just man, because WrestleMania 20 was great, but like you said, the build up was wonderful, man. Because now since No Way Out ended up becoming Elimination Chamber, so I'm gonna ask you, man, what is your favorite kind of gimmick match? Like the Hell in a Cell matches or Elimination Chamber, like gimmick match. What's your favorite kind of specialty match?
Just because I've been in one and I like doing them, and also I am a bit of a spot monkey. The TLC matches.
Ooh, man, I love the TLC match. Those are good matches, man. How was your experience in that match, man?
Um, I actually had got my first broken bone in the business in the TLC match. I had my collarbone broken.
Ah,
Well, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. It hurt more than I thought it was going to, which I knew it was going to hurt. I just did not, realize how bad it was going to hurt. But it was still such a hard hitting, match, and then it was just describing it because I mean it was still in my rookie year when I had this. So I remember climbing up, falling from the top of the ladder. When I broke my collarbone, getting sandwiched between two ladders and taking the swanton. Um, crashing through tables and getting your head smashed in with a chair. all all for a future title shot for a promotion, and it was definitely worth it.
Oh man, this is your
I would
rookie year.
definitely do it again and again and again.
Man, I would love to see like some of these specialty matches happening out on one Memphis, man. I really would like to see some of these, man.
Well, I mean, we've had several specialty gimmick matches before. Me and Walker had what we've dubbed the Broad Avenue Brawl, a street fight.
Yeah.
The rec room. We tore the house down a main event with that. We've done another street. We've done street fights at the Rail Garden. We've had several gimmicky style matches. Hope to have more. In our heydays from our early years, prior to being named 901, we had done ladder matches and the old school style strap match. And I imagine going into the future, we're gonna have more gimmick matches, and it's not gonna be some of the same old stuff you see. It's gonna be, it's gonna be great and a fresh take in some of the Memphis wrestling that we currently have.
Oh, cool, man. And I see that at the rec room they're doing some construction over there, man. Fixing on some work over there, man.
From what I've read, they're kind of eliminating that parking lot, expanding it out, making it more of an outdoor area, like a beer garden, so to speak.
Yeah.
And being able to have outdoor events. So how that's I don't think that's going to affect 901 per se in the future, but it's going to be fun to see how it does impact doing a show there once they've changed up everything.
Yeah. Cool.
Who knows? We'll finally have more room to pack more people in there, because past several shows that 901's done, that place is hard to get into because there's just so many damn people in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been there. It's hard to get a good spot where you can get in and get out, and
you have to get there early because the seats do fill up fast. Especially since they kind of redesigned how us being able to do a show there, and having seating for all of the crowd, not them having to stand up. They can actually sit down, and you see that a lot of the people that you saw standing weren't there for a bar. They were there. Sitting down watching, good Memphis wrestling, the way it should be. And, it's bringing life back into, what used to be a commodity for that city.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Georgia to Tennessee. How many promotions have you worked for?
Let's see, 2 in Mississippi, the 1 in Tennessee, and 2 in Georgia. So about 5. I've done Anarchy, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, 901. I've done, when I first started in the business, promotions, out in Mississippi, which is where I got my start at.
Yeah.
And, I kind of like the Memphis area a lot. I've been up there so many times, and a lot of the fans keep asking to have me come back. And, a lot of the guys up there, I got my start, working with them. So it's, nice still being able to do shows with people that, I've grown up in the business with, or not grown up, but, been in the business as long as I've been in it with. And, I continue to look forward, to trying to do more shows for Memphis, but, at the same time also branching out and going other places and, letting everybody see, what I have to offer.
That's dope, man. That's a good way to get your brand up, because you got.
Yeah, I like the fact that I went away from home.
Yeah.
To learn this and to get as much knowledge as I could before bringing it back home to show my family, everybody, what I can actually do in the ring.
Cool. You're working with Soul Taker?
I have not been able to work with Soul Taker. He's never really approached me about coming to a show, and then again, I've also never really asked to work on his show. I mean, might happen in the future, might not. Just never know.
Yeah. So, have you ever been to a WWE or AEW or a WCW, any wrestling promotion shows?
I have. I've been to several. I've been to, a few WWE shows. I've been to a couple of their pay-per-views. I've been to Ring of Honor, as in the crowd, just to watch.
Yeah.
And then of course, indie shows here in the area, before I even, really consider, trying to, send in my resume to a promotion. I like to go and watch it as a fan and see what the environment, what the atmosphere is like, and see exactly what the show is, and look at it from a different set of eyes.
Man, I've been to a few shows, man, and just the pyro so loud, and then the smell, man. I went with my at the time we wasn't married. Me and my wife, we went, and she was pregnant with our daughter, man. She wasn't expecting that pyro, and she freaked out. She thought she was gonna have that baby right there. Thought the baby was gonna pop right out, man. That pyro is another part of the show that's great.
It's very different. It's very deafening, but if you've been in the military, like with like aircraft going off when on an aircraft carrier right above you, it's
Yeah.
you get kind of used to it.
What branch were you in the military, man?
I was in the Navy.
In the Navy. Okay. Cool. Hey, so are you married? Well, I asked my next question.
I'm not married. Do have a
Okay.
girlfriend and a family, but not married.
Okay. So women's wrestling. What are your thoughts on the women's wrestling? I'm about to got to get a little serious for a minute.
Oh, I absolutely love women's wrestling, and I like that it's not what it used to be back in the day, where it was they were divas and they weren't really wrestling; they were just showing off, their bodies. The fact that they're allowed to, showcase what true skills women athletes have in this business is amazing.
Yeah.
And having some of the women competing with men in intergender matches, a lot of people don't really like that, but I do, because there are women in this business that can hang and go just as well as the men. Some of them even better than the men, in my opinion. And I think it's great that some of them have that opportunity to be able to do that.
All right. Give me your three, in your opinion, your top three most attractive women's wrestlers.
Oh, I mean, really having to base it off of looks, which I really don't like to do, because for me, like, when it comes to women's wrestling,
Yeah.
It's more about skill, because we're in that era now that it doesn't matter what your looks are. Is in the business, it's what your skill set will bring to the table.
Yeah.
So if I just had to choose my three favorite women wrestlers, I would choose definitely Rhea Ripley, just because she's a young talent. She's grown so much in such a short time, and I think she's going to be one of the top women wrestlers of all time in the future. Becky Lynch, she's been one of the top women wrestlers, and probably have to go a little old school on this, but not too old school.
Lita. Okay. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and Lita. Speaking of Becky Lynch, man, she's having a kid, and it was funny. Me and my wife were just talking about how it's not that many pro wrestling women that have children, because they're so focused on their career and trying to get to that top spot. What? And I heard what Jim Cornette had to say about Becky getting pregnant. Man, what are your thoughts on that situation, man?
I think it's awesome that her and Rollins are having a family. If that's what she wants, if that's what they want to do, and let
Yeah.
be happy. I think that's awesome. And about Cornette's words, Cornette can go suck an egg. He's, in my opinion, so out of touch with what the business is today that he just needs to keep his mouth quiet on certain things. He, don't get me wrong, Cornette, knows this business so well, but he's got a narrow mindset on some things that he doesn't need to have, and it just makes him look so bad.
Yeah, man, because he's talking trash like, oh, she shouldn't be trying to have no family, that she needs to stay focused on being the women's champion and being the top star, and how
Yeah, I mean,
and then
if she
he
wants
even
to
called
be a
Donna
mom,
ugly.
she's done so much in this business already in such a short time. Is basically been the female Stone Cold, so to speak.
Yeah,
She wants to take time off and be a mother and have a kid and maybe come back to the business afterwards. If not, oh well, she's still going to be able to go out on top.
and I agree, man. And if she doesn't come back, at least she went out on the way on her own terms. It wasn't because of her injury or anything, And and for me, I was talking to a buddy of mine. It just seemed like some of the storylines on Raw, SmackDown are always based around the four horsewomen. With Becky out, I feel like this would give someone else a chance to step up and shine if they capitalize on it the right way, man.
Mhm.
So yeah, Becky Lynch. They try to make Becky Lynch. Yeah, they making Becky Lynch like the Stone Cold of the division. They kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but that was the plan. Charlotte Flair, Nathan, she is the Ric Flair of their division, dude. Let it go. Moving on. Anyway,
Yeah.
this guy here, he don't keep on wrestling that much, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, she is the female Stone Cold on WWE. I mean, if you want to agree with it or not, that's what they made her into, and she's went with it. They don't call her the man for nothing.
Right. Things always change when a man comes around. NXT. Do you keep up with the wrestling promotions now that there's no live audience, no crowd?
I keep up with them some. It's been a little harder to because it's so different watching a show without a crowd.
It is.
And it goes to show you that without a crowd, it's hard to have a wrestling show because that crowd is very much a part of that show than as the people in the ring. They're bringing energy and life into that place for us to feed off of. And when we're in an empty arena, there's what is there to feed off of?
Yeah. And man, I keep up with it. I mean, this give people, I guess, more chance to do more promos, like just really just do promos and things like that. But yeah, the wrestling and the crowd interaction, it's definitely not the same, man. I keep up with it because I'm a wrestling fan and I got Wrestlers 901, but it's not the same. I do miss the crowd, I do, but yeah.
I mean, they're working with with what they have, and all the promotions are trying their best to put on good quality shows for everybody to watch and enjoy, and be able to forget some of the crap that's going on right now, and they're all doing a tremendous job at it.
Yeah,
Whether you like the crowdless shows or don't like them, they're still getting to do what a lot of us wish we were getting to do, and
true. Yeah,
you can't really be jealous about it because they're in that position to be able to do so, and it just takes work to be able to get there.
I mean, right now it's kind of like the really only sport that's on TV to watch unless you want to watch some old stuff. I mean,
Exactly, that is exactly it.
so and so, like era wise, what was your favorite wrestling era? Like between Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, PG era. What was your favorite era?
Attitude Era, hands down. Well, Attitude Era going into the Ruthless Aggression era,
Yeah,
because that's when I really started getting into it. It was right at the end of the Attitude Era going into the Ruthless Aggression. So I got to watch Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all of them come in
yeah,
to WWE and actually get to do stuff, and that they weren't able to do with WCW. And to me, that's always been my favorite because that's just when I started watching and following WWE and really wanting to start getting into that business. Watching it, and of course, like I said, going to indie shows and really finding out that I can't do this. If I put my mind to it.
yeah, man, definitely, man. So, my boy Adonis is in here. He has the Storm. So, factions. What is your favorite faction or factions? If you got more than one, what's your favorite faction?
Well, because I've had a few run-ins with Adonis and his group, the Storm. I'm gonna have to say them. Because that's I can do math, and 4-on-1, just odds ain't in my favor regardless. I'd still fight, but definitely Evolution.
Woo, that was a great faction, man.
It was, and the Von Erichs.
Von Erich, that's
The
old.
Von Erich family. Yeah, like just that family right there was, you can't argue that was one of the best wrestling families next to the Hearts. My opinion, better than the Hearts. Yeah, they had more tragedy befall that family in such a short time span.
Man.
I think had that not happened, the Von Erichs would have went even further um, than anybody could have ever imagined.
Man, but you said Evolution. Oh man, Von Erich does. If people don't know who the Von Erichs are, please go do your research. Get on YouTube, get
Yes.
under the WWE Network. Just find that where you can, man. Seriously, like you
Mm-hmm.
really have to. I'm gonna, you know what, man? I'm sitting here and reading the comments and talking about factions. I'm gonna do a live broadcast sometime next week talking about wrestling factions and really just try to dive into it because people just misunderstand things and they either fanboys or they don't get it. Some people are just getting their feelings about something. You shouldn't. Evolution though, and I feel like that is possibly one of the best, not just the name, but the purpose of that group alone.
Oh, and how it catapulted Randy Orton and Batista's young careers.
Yeah, man.
Had it not been for Evolution, I don't think they would have made it to the top as often as they did. Um,
Man. Oh,
I mean, in my opinion, it was better than what the NWO was. Better than just. I mean, no, honestly, no faction I think's been able to top Evolution. Except maybe um, the Bullet Club's done a good job. I mean, they do pay homage to what the NWO was.
yeah, I definitely like that. I like the Bullet Club. If you don't know Bullet Club, go do your research.
Yeah. The Shield, regardless if you like a lot of the guys or not, the Shield, you can't argue they were dominant and great at what they did.
And I just feel like they broke up too soon.
They did. I mean, things had happened, where they kind of had no choice but to pull the trigger on that. But
Yeah.
I think it still went great.
Oh man, that's
But right now, in current time, I think Undisputed Era is definitely knocking on that door of what Evolution was, of being like the greatest faction ever. Because that Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, all of them are just they're meant for this business, and
man.
they get it so
Yeah,
perfectly.
Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Man, when I saw them come to NXT, I was dope because and AJ Styles left Impact Wrestling and started doing the independent wrestling and New Japan and Ring of Honor. I started
Mm-hmm.
seeing those guys. I was like, man, these some dope wrestlers. These guys are really good. And then when they came over to NXT, I like NXT just got even better, man. So wow.
Oh God, yeah! Watching Adam Cole pop up out of nowhere and debut was on NXT was I popped for it.
Man.
And I'm like you. I'm reading the comments too, and to Nate there. Yes, do think Evolution is one of the best, and no, I'm not drunk. But there is a reason why I was always called the high flyer of 901, and the word high was always in quotation marks. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh my gosh. You have not had your bootios. New Day. New Day. They're definitely
New Day is very great. I mean, they had a rough start getting it off the ground,
true.
but they've all have just done such a tremendous job, and Xavier is without a doubt, like he's got the perfect mentality for creation and knowing what to do, and you can't argue with that. It's
Yeah, man.
without Xavier Woods, there really is no New Day, and it sucks not being able to see him, in the ring
Yeah.
with him right now. Wish him speedy recovery, but
Yeah.
yeah, without Xavier, there is no New Day.
And a lot of people sleep on Xavier's wrestling skills, man. The dude can go in the ring, man.
The dude can go.
Oh man, I love seeing him. I love when they finally let him get in the ring and wrestle. The dude is talented. He's not just a mouthpiece, a trombone player.
No, he's not just some nerd who plays video games,
No.
and likes anime and stuff and does cosplay. He's a tremendous worker in the ring, and he's great on the mic. He's great at everything that you need to be in this business. And yeah, you're right. A lot of people do sleep on him, and they don't need to. They need to wake up.
Man, he's definitely great in the ring, man. I can't wait to see he come back, man. I heard his Achilles injury. I heard he's ahead of schedule as far as back, man.
Yeah.
I'm dope for that, You said you broke your collarbone. Other than your collarbone, have you got any other injuries in the ring?
Well, thanks to Walker, I've broken several ribs, and had a bit of a concussion. I've had a total of 3 concussions. So, yeah, that card's filling up quick. I've broken fingers, toes. I've probably the worst one I had. It didn't happen in the ring. It happened outside the ring, and that was when I broke my leg and put 2 gigantic holes in my shin and fractured it, almost sliced my ACL in half. It was nasty, and it almost kept me from doing this. And I got lucky that after about 8 months I was able to get back in the ring.
Oh, jeez, man. Have you working in the ring with guys? Have you ever been in the ring with a guy who was just careless in the ring, who was out there just didn't know what he was doing?
Yes, I have, and it actually led to my first concussion in the ring. And I mean, we were both still young in the business, but he was just he didn't control his strength in that, because he was a lot bigger than me, and definitely seriously hurt me, but no ill will.
Jeez, man. Have you ever hurt anybody in the ring? Have you ever hurt anybody in the ring?
Have I ever hurt anybody in the ring? Not that I've been told. I hope I haven't. I'm pretty sure if I would have, somebody would have told me. I've busted some lips and some noses in the ring, but I've never seriously hurt anybody.
Okay, now that I asked that question, let's go back to this ACL.
All right. My ACL. I was at work and a pipe trailer had flipped, and I kind of got tangled up in the on the trailer when it got launched up, and I basically got turned into a human trebuchet and ragdolled around this trailer, and my leg wrapped up onto the steel frame, and there was a sharp edge sticking out, and it sliced into my leg and basically stabbed my leg and broke the bone, and the holes are like just about an inch below my ACL.
God, jeez. Man, I'm glad you're okay. Man, I'm just glad you survived that. Jeez.
I know it was scary as hell. Had I not been, pretty much caught up on that trailer when it launched, I would have went flying like 20 feet in the air and across a shop and landed on concrete and who knows what else. So I'm kind of glad I stayed with the trailer, but at the same time, I wish I wouldn't have, because that just messed me up bad.
Good grief, man! Like I said, I'm definitely glad that you're okay. I'm glad you survived that. That just good grief, man. That sounds all the way bad.
And I've done some stupid stuff in the ring, before. I've jumped 15 plus feet off of platforms, onto people. When I made my debut in Memphis, that was one of the first things people remember about me is I climbed up on this closet in the rec room that's about 15 feet in the air and dove off on the walker. I climbed up on one of the cement walls at the rail garden that was even higher and dove off into basically gravel. I've been slammed into Legos and had, you know, ribs broken and blood drawn, and I just asked for more.
You're a freaking Jeff Hardy around here.
I've had that comparison before. I don't know if I'd say Jeff Hardy. But I do like to, you know, kind of push the limit and, you know,
Jeez,
find out what my limit is and go past it. So
we definitely want to hear a couple before we go, man. I gotta hear at least a couple of those stories. But the Legos, I need to hear the story about the Legos.
oh, okay, so it was the first ever Broad Avenue Brawl at the Rec Room for 901, and me and Walker, we were basically beating the crap out of each other because he'd been attacking my light heavyweight division in the promotion, trying to make his name, and I was, you know, stood up for the division, and we just went to war with each other. And Marco Stunt, actually, before the show, gave me one of his fanny packs that was filled with Legos and dumped it out in the ring. And just after we had beaten each other up with chairs, we went outside outside of the Rec Room and brawled. When we came back in, battling on the top rope, you know, kendo stick in hand, cracked Walker in the head and had him get, you know, fall into the Legos. And then not even 2 minutes afterwards, you know, Walker's up and power slamming me right into the Legos. I've been, you know, overhead belly to belly off the top rope across the whole ring into a pile of Legos, breaking ribs and, you know, bruising my kidney in the process.
Oh my gosh. Doggone Marco Stunt.
Yep.
Just watch this guy get beat up the other last night. Jeez.
Yeah, Marco, I'm proud of Marco for being that for you know, being able to make it to where he's at, you know, with his, you know, size, you know, and a lot of people, you know, do give him crap for that you know, he shouldn't be in a business, that he's too small. And I mean, you know, if he's, you know, paid his dues and, you know, is, you know, drawing, you know, crowds and is able to make money, you know, why are you mad at him for living out his dream? And
let him live,
you know,
folks.
Exactly, let him live.
Oh man, you got any more crazy stories before we go, man? You got another crazy story to leave us out on?
I don't. I'm trying to think of probably with Ken. Ken gave me probably my worst my worst beating in the ring. When I came back from my leg injury, my Ken Dang was my first opponent in the ring, and just he beat the holy hell out of me. and I loved every bit of it too. You know, and he had it in hand with when he hit me with an air raid siren to the outside onto the concrete and off the apron. And yet I've never been hurt as bad, you know, like felt as bad afterwards in the ring until, you know, I stepped in the ring with Ken Dang, and, you know, I can't wait to do it again. So like, you know, because I know him and Walker have a title match upcoming, you know, for 901 whenever, you know, they're able to start doing shows again. And, you know, I've battled both of those men and, you know, went to, you know, hell and back with them. And I'm obviously representing my emperor.
Hell, Emperor. Hell, Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see you three guys in a cage match. Well, hell,
I would absolutely love that. I've never been in a cage match, so
you three guys in a cage match.
I would absolutely love that because I know I'm climbing to that top of that cage faster than any one of those two guys can, and then it's just a question of whether or not, you know, I climb down or jump off, you know.
Yeah. I love a good cage match, man, with the different size opponents, because you can get so many kind of things done in that cage, man. Nobody reminds you of TJP. Shut up.
I mean, I appreciate that compliment. I like TJP. I mean, the guy is fantastic at what he does.
He just trying to get the guy over. He just trying to get this guy over any way he can.
That I mean, yeah.
He just wanted everybody to remember him. Like, dude, nobody's gonna forget him. We was watching him before he was saying TJP. We watched him when he was doing the suicide. We was
I know, right? That's how I remember TJP is as suicide,
That's how I
and
remember him before the Cruiserweight
yeah,
Classic.
that's how I like to remember him too when he was suicide. You know, 'cause that was a great gimmick. Yes, it came based off from a video game,
Yeah,
and you know, it got over way more than it should have, and I love it because
definitely.
I like the crazy stuff that in wrestling that a lot of people trash on, like Joey Ryan and his stuff. When it comes to
Oh,
certain things in wrestling, I do like that on the entertainment aspect.
yeah,
Um,
that's good.
because if you're working a show and that's what the crowd wants to see, let them see it. That's what they're paying to see.
And my thing with TJP, he wasn't underrated. He just was another guy that WWE does not know, didn't know how to use.
They didn't know how to use him. They
That
didn't.
was
They
the
tried to
guy.
make him like a video game character and everything. Like for if you would see how his entrance
Yeah,
theme and everything. It had no pizzazz, no life to it.
true. And I mean, he was great in the ring. Everybody knew how great he was. It's just
Hmm.
they did know how to use him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can be great in the ring, but if you don't have a great character, you're just a guy doing flips.
And they had a roster of those. They got plenty. They had plenty of those, and they just
Hmm.
and that's what they. That's crazy. And like I said, I
Yeah,
remember.
they have too many people to really know what they're doing with, because they like always basically trying to be the monopoly
Yeah.
in wrestling, and oh, Paula Cruz, another Georgia guy,
Oh yeah.
Stone Mountain, not too far away.
Another
Um,
guy that's not underrated. They just don't know what to do with him. They just.
there are people who know what to do with Apollo,
But
and
I'm talking about this Vince and his crunk.
if you listen and follow the rumor mill, the rumors he's about to get maybe a decent push,
That's
and with kind of the things that's been going on, with him returning,
yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if he's champion here very very soon. I mean, the guy deserves it. I mean,
He does. He does deserve it. I like Apollo Crews because he got the look. He got the move set. Man.
yeah, I mean he's a big guy. He can move around the ring, like a smaller guy. He gives you that powerhouse plus that agile worker. I mean, he's just well rounded.
He is. He definitely is. Man. But get ready to close it out, man. Let the people know where they can find you on social media, man. Let them know where they can find
I mean, y'all can find me on here on Instagram and on Twitter at the real Otho 9000. I do have a Facebook. I mean, it's more I do some for wrestling, but most of it is for my personal Facebook. I don't really have a Facebook for my wrestling. I just don't.
you.
um, I just use Twitter for that. So
Right.
um, hopefully, when all this is said and over with, people can start, finding me back in Memphis. Be doing shows locally, here in Georgia as well, and like I
Yeah.
said, trying to spread out and get everywhere I can.
Cool. Cool. All right, man. I'm not gonna be here told you much longer, man. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you got a little one. I got a little one. I've been trying to keep out of here. See to her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to the dad world, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean,
I feel you. Same here.
and the funny thing is like since she started seeing coming to shows and seeing me wrestle and her being 3, that's all she talks
How old
about
is she?
is she's 3,
3. Oh,
and
mine's 4.
and that's all she talks about. She wants to be a wrestler, and
Dope.
yeah, and I absolutely love it. You know so having her come to the shows, hanging out with some of the my fellow wrestlers,
Yeah.
kids as well, it's that way they're all kind of growing up together in the business, knowing what it's like.
Yeah.
um I think it's pretty awesome for her because she's getting to see the extended family, and just how awesome and different this world is in this business.
That's cool, man. That's great, man. Congratulations on being a father, man. You was in the military, man. Thank you for your service in the military. Thank you, most importantly, for wanting to be a wrestler and do what you do in the ring. I applaud that, guys.
Yeah. With thanks, for that again, like I said, all the thanks for that goes to Frank Paris. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have had that drive to want to do this. So, thank you, Frank.
All right, guys. This is Kel Breezy, Wrestling 901, with another edition of Ranting with the Wrestlers. Man, I'm going to allow him to close us out, man. Go ahead and close us out, man.
The best way to close out for everyone to have the most perfect evening that they absolutely can. And when all this is said and done, come find me. Come find Perfect Sam.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
All right.